So instances weren't a thing in gaming at the time, and our engineers and artists had just figured out how we were going to create dynamically generated doors and how we were going to set these zones up to appear as instances. So the content was wide open, and so when I came in, they were like, "What's the content for Lost Dungeons?" I'm like, what? Okay. And everyone was super supportive. We came up with a crazy lore faction-based distribution system. You know, looking back on it, probably would have done it 5 other ways, just because it was a bit clunky. Good in theory, but it was literally like get in and define the lore for each dungeon. And I can't remember it. I think it was 40 individual stories within each dungeon. I can't even remember how many dungeons there were, but it felt like a lot. I'd say 5.
How did you decide on, like, this was going to be the thing that defined this expansion?
I wish I could say it was academically brilliant, but it's literally like, that's cool, let's do it. Because we're all players ourselves, and we kind of knew where we wanted the game to go and evolve to. We weren't trying to, you know, solve any huge problems and win any well, now we're always trying to win prizes. That's kind of why we're gamers, I figure. But it was just, and we still do that today. There's a gut check of what's the coolest thing to do. So there's game health things you focus on and quality of life within the game, but there's things that you think are just cool and right for your particular game. So we would have these giant design meetings, and at least at the time, the lead designer would pitch the story, and then the features would just, I think the feature track would develop independently, sort of things we knew we wanted to do in the game. But for Lost Dungeons of Norath, for example, because we wanted to go deeper into those really iconic areas in the game, the features sort of rose from it. So doing instance dungeons, for example, where you could go in a group and raid, and do that individually without having to queue up and wait in our static content. So solving a problem and the lore sort of evolved together.